Hello and welcome to the France 24 interview. Our guest today is Ahmed Shide. He's Ethiopia's finance minister and he joins us from Addis Ababa. Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you, and I'm happy to join you.
Your Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed has announced this Thursday that after the expiration of a 72-hour deadline, he had ordered the federal troops to attack Mekele, the regional capital of the Tigray region, warning residents to stay indoors and disarm. He described this as, quote-unquote, the final offensive against the Tigray People Liberation Front. After over 3 weeks of fighting in the northern region, a very simple question, because we have very little information from the ground. What is happening as we speak?
The Prime Minister has instructed the army to make sure that the law and order is fully restored in Tigray, and the constitutional order has to be in place in Tigray, and also to protect the Tigrayan people from this TPLF junta committing of different atrocities. And this junta was also committing worst atrocities on ethnic basis in some of the areas, like in Khadra. What they did was genocidal activities which they have conducted. Therefore, the state has to protect itself. The state has to maintain its territorial integrity by keeping law and order of the country. That's why this operation is a legal operation, a just operation to keep the sovereignty of Ethiopia, and particularly to keep the cohesive peace and stability in the country. This is an internal issue which we are managing, and our law enforcement institutions, particularly our army and intelligence and other security organs, are capable enough, and the operation is progressing very well. We have been very mindful on humanitarian issues, on right issues, and the operation is being conducted in such a way that it didn't affect the civilians. And already we have been proactively working on humanitarian action plan internally within the government coordination mechanisms, as well as with UN and other development partners. Already we are developing a joint plan. Since significant area of Tigray region is already been liberated from this TPLF junta, safe corridors are now being opened, and a joint mission with UN agencies is going to deploy soon next week. And some of the relief operations has already begun. And the final law and order operation is currently underway in Mekele and its surroundings. The objective is to keep law and order in all Tigray region, including Mekele, and also to bring the culprits to justice. And we hope that the culprits will be apprehended soon with this final operation in Mekele. And we have made the people of Mekele to be aware of the operation by deploying military helicopters and dropping pamphlets in Tigrayan and also in Amharic, so that they protect themselves against this. And also some of the soldiers which they have been using for this junta were also been informed by the 72-hour amnesty the Prime Minister had gave, and already significant youngsters which the junta has been training and using for these atrocities were abandoning them and joining a peaceful area, as well as also surrendering themselves.
But how is the operation going? How long do you think it will take to take control of Mekele and of the region?
The major operation will be completed soon. We hope less than a week and in few days. Therefore, so far the progress today is very good, and there has been a lot of advances toward encircling the city, and the operation is underway in such a way that maximum care is given so that civilians will not be affected.
Because there are 500,000 people living in Mekele, there's a great concern among humanitarian agencies that this could lead to a major death and possible crimes. What's your response to those concerns?
The concern for the people is our collective concern, and the military operation is underway in such a way that maximum care is made.
But you warned about no mercy, correct?
What do you say?
There were some warnings by the government that there would be no mercy. I mean, this is sending a negative signal, isn't it?
No, there is no such warning. The government has made clear this is a law and order operation to bring the culprits to justice. And the people of Tigray is an integral part of the society of Ethiopia, and they are our people. The humanitarian issue, the right issue, protecting civilians is utmost concern for the federal government.
Will you give access to international humanitarian agencies to the area? They're saying you're not giving them access. Will you do that?
Already access in areas where from the security point of view is safe to do is already open. Significant areas is open for humanitarian access. Now the area which the operation is underway is very close area, Mekele and its surroundings, and the operation is going on with maximum utmost care for civilians. That's why 72-hour pause was made, so that the people will be aware. Some of the soldiers which has been misled should be aware and abandon these groups. And most of them are also abandoning them already. Yesterday, in thousands, the soldiers which they have deployed was abandoning them. And the warning for the awareness for the people in Mekele and surroundings were being done by dropping pamphlets, and different media also were deployed.
Are you expecting the TPLF leadership to surrender, or is the objective actually to neutralize them, even to kill them?
The operation is law and order operation. It is to bring them to justice. Therefore, if they apprehend their hands to the government, that will be very good. But otherwise, they will be brought to justice. This is not to kill particular leader or so. It is to bring them to justice. Therefore,
but they're saying you're actually pretending that you're winning, but that it's not the case, that they're ready to fight for a long time, and you're doing essentially propaganda by saying that the victory is around the corner. What's your response?
The victory is soon. The major operation will be completed soon. We have full confidence on this. This group were preparing for this for more than 2 years, preparing a lot of army divisions for which only state-level capacity organization should have, and they made a brutal attack on our northern divisions for this, but the operation has succeeded swiftly. In 2 weeks' time, significant area of Tigray is liberated by this operation. Now we are talking about surrounding Mekele. Therefore, the operation is going very well, and the operation will be over soon.
Why have you refused any international mediation? Western countries have called for it. The UN has called for it. The African Union was supposed to send some envoys. Why refuse this? Why refuse such a dialogue, de-escalation, international mediation?
We are not refusing.
Yes, you are.
We are not refusing. We respect the international community's concern, but this is an internal issue. This is a law and order operation issue to protect law and order in the country. Any state in the world with sovereign law and order, when these types of brutal attacks are made by like TPLF junta, by using subnational units leadership position to attack the core of the state, which is the military, the territorial integrity, the law and order enforcement has to be made. This is the right of any state on its internal capacity.
So you don't want any international meddling in this affair, correct? I mean, just to be clear.
That has to go within the context of law and order operation. The law and order operation has to progress, and the dialogue, the discussion on the whole corners of Ethiopia is always open. One of the objectives of the reform, the comprehensive reform, was to open the political space, economic space, so that all political actors can join peacefully to define a better future for all of us in the future.
Just a very last question, Mr. Shide, we're running out of time. I just have a last question. Isn't this sowing the seeds of potential tensions along ethnic lines in your country? Aren't you afraid that even if this fight is over soon, as you're expecting it to be, the future might be bleak because this will leave some bloody traces?
We don't believe so. It is a brutal attack which they have to be made. And the target is not the people. The target is not even the whole organization. The target is the TPLF junta. This is the core ring leaders who have planned, prepared, and attacked. And the objective was to break up the country, to completely disorganize the whole state so that they impose their will on the rest of the country. And therefore, the law and order operation will pave a way into a meaningful dialogue for all Ethiopians to define for their future along the comprehensive reform which Prime Minister Abiy and the leadership has been working on for the last 2 years, and for good success as well. But this junta was undermining this comprehensive reform. They undermined the unity of the country, and they wanted by military way to impose their will on the rest of Ethiopians. And also they hijacked the people of Tigray. The people of Tigray is not supporting this, and this has been demonstrated by the swift operation and the success and the cooperation of the people of Tigray along this line. So all Ethiopians should define their future. Dialogue is very important, but dialogue has to be subject to law and order, and this law and order operation success is very important to have also a meaningful dialogue to define our future.
Ahmed Shide, that's all we have time for. I want to thank you very much for being with us here on the France 24 interview. Stay tuned for more news.